Welcome to the Jim Norton Show. Bob always laughs. I never know when to start. I just hang in front of it with shame in front of the mic. Don't know when to talk.
You really do turn into a 14-year-old boy on a train going to work. Sounds great.
I should just say my turn. Faggot.
Who was that?
What's that?
That music.
Godsmack.
Oh shit.
Bad Religion, man. All right, well, we're back for another week here, and I hate when guys pretend that I'm so happy they didn't throw us off yet. And the whole room cracks up like, yeah, you're nuts. Lucky you made it. I'm in a fucking horrible mood, really cranky. Here at Bob again, and James Smith, we're hanging with today, who's a buddy of ours from Australia.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, he's an Australian comedian, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
hope so.
Actually, more New York now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Came from Australia in 2005. You got here, right?
Permanently.
Well, you were off by at least 5 years.
Well, because he came here for the first. He came here.
25.
The first time you came here was like in the 80s, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can I say something to start? I'm so cranky today because I'm in a really bad mood because somebody was supposed to deliver. It's so stupid. We're pre-taping this. We have to tell people we're pre-taping this because we're not going to be here. We're all on the road and doing stuff, whatever we're doing. I'm going to be in Tampa. Bobby will be where are you going to be?
Just go to my website, robertkellylive.com, because I didn't even look that up.
James will be at Caroline's over the weekend.
Actually, I know where I'm going to be.
Where?
Marco Island.
Oh, okay, in Florida.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those guys are mad at me. I canceled twice. But not to be a dick. I just scheduling got fucked up. And then,
I think I actually got. Thank you.
They don't want me back, I don't think.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for. You just paid my mortgage.
Tell them I'm sorry.
No, forget that. I'm glad you did it because I got the gig out of it. They said, what's the next best thing? Actually, not the next. What's 3 things?
Next best. So I was in Atlanta last night and this weekend, and I flew home today, and I'm extremely tired. I'm fighting with my girlfriend fucking horribly. I was so angry at her yesterday that I was biting myself, and I was rocking in the bed I'm afraid I'm going to assault my girlfriend. I can't be in a relationship, I don't think.
What do you bite yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you?
Because I can't. You ever been so angry you don't know what to do?
Absolutely.
What do you do when you have that kind of rage? It's like you break something or you internalize it.
Yeah, I just lose my mind. I just scream or do whatever I can. It's just the worst.
Have you ever hit a chick?
Never.
I've never have either. But I'm fighting with her yesterday, and I'm afraid if I was with you, I would assault you. I can't do this.
It's not as good as it looks.
I know I would regret it as soon as I came.
As soon as you hit a chick. As soon as you hit him, you feel like shit for life. Because you see that little face and the little eyebrows go up, just like hitting a puppy, and the puppy just shakes in a corner. It's the same thing. It's just sad.
Was the puppy a cunt again when you were trying to help it? Drives me fucking crazy, man. But that type of rage is frightening. I'm so angry. I mean, I don't know what I need, but I can't handle it anymore.
A new girlfriend, I think, is.
You know what? You might be right. I might need a nice girlfriend.
No, I like it, girl.
We fight too much, man. It's
but you guys, when you're together, you're the most loving couple. It's almost sickening. Eating dinner with you two is almost sickening because you just little kisses, and they're not even like full kisses, like little
nice people.
And you hug together. You hold it. You guys are good together.
I'm really. But anyway, I was dealing with it yesterday. It's like a weird hangover you get from being angry. And then today, it's so stupid. I'm going to L.A. tomorrow to do something for Dave Attell's show. And he's got some porn thing he does, which I'm sure is going to be funny.
Going to be great.
And so he's going to give me porno movies to look at, to preview. And the intern who works with the assistant who works for his producer or something dropped him off at the wrong building. So I'm walking around looking for the same number as my building, but a different street. And it's just got me in such a. I don't know how to handle being. I'm in such a bad mood. It's like ruining my day, and I'm like, why? The guy made a mistake. Who gives a shit? You just go get it. You understand? The anger is ruining my life. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Way to start a comedy show. Sorry, James.
I'm in such a shit mood. Where you from? Go.
Yeah. So, kangaroos, your turn. Go. How long have you been here? Because I know James for the Comedy Cellar and from hanging out at gigs, but it's like I don't know a lot about you other than just you're a comic that I know. What brought you here?
I always wanted to live in America, and then it became I always want to live in New York, and so I tried to get here, even when I wasn't a comic. And ultimately, I just kept trying to come here, and then in 2005, I got to come permanently, and that's what I've been doing ever since, basically.
What did you give up to come here?
Well, I mean, I had a decent comedy career in Australia, and it's a smaller market, so there's a lot of potential for radio and TV and stuff like that. And I was established, so I had 5 years, which in Australia was a lot because I'd been doing a lot. So I had a career, I had a job and a good career.
You were a lawyer.
That was prior to comedy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was like 5 years before that. So 10 years ago, I was a lawyer. Yeah.
So you graduated law? Were you a practicing lawyer, or did you just graduate?
No, I practiced. Yeah.
What kind of law? That's
great. I did litigation first, and then I went into banking and finance, and then I ended up in entertainment law.
Wow, Jesus Christ, dude! And what happened? A lot of comedians are lawyers. About it. Dan Natterman, I believe, graduated law school. Geraldo graduated. I want to say Harvard Law. He's a brilliant guy. There's a weird.
None of your friends. None of your friends are.
Paul Mercurio, right?
Anything before.
No, you're right. These are all comedians I know. Like, my friends are Bob Kelly,
Rich Voss.
fucking Voss. Yeah. They're all guys that were kicked out of grammar school for molesting other kids their age.
Needs a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. People that need a lawyer. So, what made you want? Here's why I asked. I wanted to be a lawyer. When I was a kid, I saw Injustice for All and Pacino. And that big speech, I'm Arthur Kirkland, and that big speech at the end of the movie, I'm like, that's what I want to do with my life. But it was more about attention and performance.
Precisely.
I wanted to perform for a jury and a courtroom more than I cared about fucking freeing, scumbag defendants. So did you do any jury stuff, or was it all like behind the scenes?
I practiced litigation, but it's precisely, I made the precise mistake you've just described, and that is that I was mistaking that job or that career to give me significance. And it wasn't the career, it was just, I couldn't do it. I enjoyed law school. It's interesting, very interesting, and I'm glad I did the degree. But the actual practice, the actual day-to-day in any capacity was just not for me.
Was there a lot of boring fucking paperwork and stuff?
It was all boring paperwork and stuff, It was just, that was all it is. It was just awful. And if you do have what the three of us have, and that is an absolute desire and a need, in fact, to perform and, attention and that sort of thing, then you just shrivel up, and die because there's no outlet whatsoever, none.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We do this, so we have a play. Should we play a bit or go to a break?
Bit.
All right, we'll play a bit. Since James is our guest today for the hour, we allowed James to pick the comics, and two of his favorite comics. I know one of them is Eddie Izzard, who I think is a brilliant fucking guy too. We have Eddie Izzard, Steve?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna play Eddie Izzard, and we're gonna be back in a couple of minutes. Stay there. Welcome back to the Jim Norton program. Boy, talk about missing the fucking post. I would be a horrible music DJ. That's why I do a show on the Boneyard where I play metal, but I don't talk over I hate when guys talk over the beginning of the song because they're just trying to showcase their DJ ability.
Right.
Like they talk and talk and talk, and then right before the singer sings, they go, and here we are. And it's, fuck them. But we played an Australian group in honor of James and his heritage. Don't you hate when you're from Australia and people are like, did you know Bon Scott?
Absolutely. In fact, though, it's interesting you ask because Angus Young lives in my neighbourhood in Sydney.
Oh, right.
Same dentist.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was at the dentist one day and they're like, that's Angus Young.
Wait, he was in there with you, or is a picture of him?
He was there, yeah.
How did they not throw you out to get Angus in the chair?
Well, there's a number of chairs at the dentist. There's like 3 rooms.
Oh, okay, so he was just there by himself?
Yeah, he lives like a stone's throw from my mother's house.
Was everybody staring at him?
No, it's like really strange that he would live in that neighbourhood. Like it's the burbs,
It's weird. The AC/DC, we interviewed him on the phone one time on O&A, and he's a very funny guy. Like, he's a really down-to-earth dude. Yeah. You don't realize how fucking famous AC/DC is.
Oh, they're the biggest band in the world.
They really are.
Absolutely, without question.
They have outsold almost everybody, haven't they?
Yep.
And I'm actually wearing the shirt.
Oh, I didn't even notice you wearing. Yeah, you're wearing the fucking Highway to Hell shirt.
And the greatest example of a band that
Walmart.
resurrected with the death of a singer. Like, no one else has been able to do that,
Yeah, because Bon Scott died, what, 1980 or 79 of hypothermia, I think it technically was.
Really?
Yeah, he was drunk in his car, and he was vomiting, and they said he choked on his own puke, but according to Ozzy, he said, who was friends with him, he said it was hypothermia.
Doesn't that suck that now like there's so many rehab things out there, you never see a good rock star just die of his own vomit anymore. Yeah. You never hear a good rock and roll story.
No, only good actors like Heath Ledger. It's like, wow, fuck. There's so many
by
people.
accident.
Yeah.
With ambient.
Pills.
Yeah, that sucks.
Hold on a second.
Ambient.
What'd you call it? You might have had it right, actually.
Ambient.
Okay. Did you call it ambient?
Yeah,
it's
ambient.
Not okay.
There's no T.
There's no T. It's ambient.
Yeah, but I add the T just to stress the tunt in it.
My girlfriend hates when I do that. Like, if she'll say something wrong, I'll be like, what was that? She's like, what? What did I say?
Everybody hates when you do that. Jim will make you feel dumb in a second.
It's funny though because I mispronounce certain, whatever. Well, everyone does it.
Yeah.
Not more like ambient.
Yeah, but your eyes light up.
How great is it, by the way? After a minute ago, we're talking about James having a law degree in Australia and practicing fucking, corporate litigation, and you, well, ambient is a drug. It's kind of like lighting.
I have no options. At least James has options.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
You're either comedy or you're shoveling
it's
pig innards somewhere. That's amazing to me that you became a lawyer and gave it up. What made you give it up, man? Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't have given it up either, but that's a ballsy thing to do.
That's a hard thing to do because you have money coming in. You're going to get a house. You have all the options. You have everything in front of you, and you throw it all away. I mean, I was in a community college for fine art. It wasn't that hard to huck that out the window.
Right.
You were working at a warehouse.
Yeah, I got a B and 3 Fs. I dropped out of high school and then tried to take a college class that would also. I took Western Civilization, biology, problems and statistics. I got Fs in all those, and English, where the guy mercifully gave me a B because he knew I had just gotten sober. So I was disgusting. So what made you say fuck law?
Well, the beauty of it is you don't have a choice. When you're built like us, like you, all three of us know, like we hate any administration whatsoever, any obligation. We hate doing anything except we'll reluctantly stand on the stage and tell jokes, right? That's basically the bottom line. So imagine having to do everything you don't want to do all fucking day, every day, for the rest of your life. And it's just that. It was just like, I hate this. I fucking hate this.
Was the money good?
It was reasonable, but it wasn't like I have to do. It wasn't golden handcuffs money.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more lawyers now than there are, years ago. And, of course, it takes a while to get, that sort of money. It was okay. I mean, I had, the lifestyle, but there was just no way. There was just no possible way. It wasn't a choice. And the choice was made for me.
Right. And things that you don't know, you meet James, and he's an Australian guy, which you, in your head, immediately probably a happy guy, happy-go-lucky, no problems, right? No worries, He's not. He is like a typical New Yorker. He hates. He walks into the cell. He's like, what's breakable? He just hates life. He lives in a studio, right?
Something like that.
A studio, and it's messy. He's depressed. He thinks about hanging himself. The only thing that keeps him going is like Apple products. That's the only thing that keeps him alive.
I hope my mother's listening to this. She'll be elated.
Yeah, no, she'll probably be happy that you're finally thinking of hanging yourself. That dumb fuck, you was a lawyer. I put him through law school. Now he's telling dick jokes in the village.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, all right, so you have a studio and are you depressed, really?
No, I like to call it accountable. I keep things accountable. So, while everybody else is painting everything fucking rosy and saying, oh, it's great, just be appreciative. Fuck that. It's, it sucks. Because I'm an idealist. I think everything should be good, and when it's not, I get angry, and so a lot of people call that depression. I just think it's accountability.
Yeah, I've always been accused of that too, like the things that are bad about myself. People are like, oh, you're just negative. I'm like, no, I'm realistic.
Yeah,
but there's a line between realism and negative, and I kind of cross over it too. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just get frustrated and be like, fuck this.
Well, you hang out with John Mayer, which so what? I mean, he hangs out at the cell. He's a very accessible guy. He's a nice dude. But he put you in the video, which we're all a little jealous of. Bothers us.
You're in a video. I didn't see it. You're in a video?
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Which video are you in?
Oh, I know what it is. The one of the road, the whole tour thing?
Oh, there's two. There's Who Says was his single, basically. And basically what he wanted to do for the song was film a night out that he would have with his mates, or his friends.
Right.
And so we did like 5 different things. Went to dinner, went to a club, blah, blah, blah. And they filmed it, and it's a fun thing, it's a great video to look at. But every night at the concerts, they play it on a screen that's as big as the earth, and so you see yourself. So that's a cool experience. Something that would never happen in our business, for example,
right.
Comedy.
How much ass do you get hanging out with John Mayer? That's gotta be fucking great. Just to pick off what he doesn't want.
I don't know. You'd be surprised. He's a pretty sophisticated, very gentlemanly kind of guy. So it's not like you're hanging out with Axl,
Right. Well, that's why John's concerts work. Instead of fucking showing up 3 hours late like that cocksucker Axl. No, but I mean, like, just the girls. Like, if you're in a club or something, you guys are hanging out. Don't the girls just come over and go, look, I want to meet John?
Depends on the club. Like, if you're in one of these super elite clubs, they sort of put up this front as to like we're going to combat him and not try and meet him because we're going to that's our defense mechanism.
Right.
But if you go to like a B club, as they call them, because there's levels everywhere. If you go to like a regular club where it's just full of regular folks and stuff, they lose their fucking mind.
Really?
Yeah. It's like watching worms try to get to a person. Yeah.
So it's weird. It's like the A clubs, quote unquote. They all want to meet him, or like any celebrity. But for them, it's like their whole thing is, I'll be so cool. I'll intrigue him by acting not interested.
Precisely. Yeah.
That's what I do when I see John.
Yeah.
I just ignore him. So hopefully.
Also, too, in those environments, they see.
Kidding.
Also, too, in those environments, they see so many celebrities. Like it'll be him and then 4 others. You know what I mean? So they're kind of immune and that sort of thing.
John actually comes down the cellar a lot, and that's how you met him. He just comes down and hangs out, and it was so when he first started coming down, he was really good friends with Sherrod.
Yeah.
Still is probably. And then I actually started to get to know him a little bit, and then like. I don't know what happened. I think one night I said something to him, busting balls, and he got mad. He was like, "You," like something like he said something to me that made me like I was like almost said "fuck you," and then I was like, "Wait a minute, just pull it back." And then he's never really treated me the same. Like he used to. I thought I should have been in your spot. I should have been in that video. I would have traded Dane's coattails for just jumped right on those. Because I listen to his song every day. I can't stop listening to his music. Oh, it would have been great. I would just had his music playing. That's my pal.
It's a funny thing, like with everything he's got in his life, he's such in awe of what we do and what we're able to do, and he just loves comedy. He's just the biggest comedy enthusiast.
That's why I like John. That's my favorite thing about him is that he's a weird respect for comedy. Like he comes down and he does stand up, but he's not delusional and go, look, I'm going to headline this. He just wants to come on and do a spot just because he actually appreciates what it is and he knows it's hard and he's edgy. He's not fucking cute. He's dropping N-bombs. I mean, he's fun to watch, man, when he comes down and does it.
He's like a prodigy, man. I mean, he's kind of like a prodigy. He's been really good at what he does at a very young age.
Yeah.
And now it's like him doing stand-up. That's pretty ballsy to get up there and do that. He doesn't suck. He's good. I've watched him. He gets some laughs. You know? You want to hate on him, but you can't.
He wrote a really, really good blog around about the beginning of 2007, January 2007. You probably find it online, and it's all about the cellar and just the respect and awe that he has for the comics there. It's a really well-written blog about the comedy cellar. You might well be, because I don't know whether he mentions names, but I just thought it was a really nice tribute,
Have you ever gotten, I've gotten into it with Dane, on the road. I mean, I did that tours, big arenas. We were playing the same, literally John was coming in, the next night.
I remember that in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, and have you ever getting into it with him? Because I've been nose to nose, backstage, nose to nose with Dane.
Yeah, we certainly get into spirited debate, no question. I mean, because you get to that point where, we're all human beings and we're all going to, argue about stuff. And
you're a comic, so we can't take shit.
Yeah.
You have to call somebody out.
Yeah, and we get self-righteous and that sort of thing. And so, it just becomes like a normal friendship, really, at the end of the day. You have to. Otherwise, you can't behave sycophantic, or be, one of these people. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, people get tired of that, too. We got to take a quick break, but it's an interesting point. It's like nobody wants to hang out with people who are just yesing them to death. Maybe some people do. Maybe, actually,
a lot of people do.
I'd love to hang out with people who just yes me to death and nodded politely. None of my friends are like that, though. My friends all are brutal. They'll all just call you out. You, Keith. I mean, they're just calling. They're horrible.
You're the same way. You just called me up for saying ambient.
Well, I had to because fucking whoever's listening heard it and was uncomfortable by it.
Dane would have let me slide.
Would he really? Because Dane wouldn't know the difference. Dane would look at his $7 million house and go, how important is it? I'm doing an arena tomorrow. I just fucking had a half-sold late show in Atlanta. It's the difference between me and Dane. That's why I point things out. Dane gets on a private plane. I flew Continental and Breyer today. God, am I worthless. All right, we'll be right back. We'll play another bit. James, you like Chris Rock, too. Is there a bit in particular you want to hear?
Anything from Bring the Pain, I think that's just the best masterpiece, he ever wrote.
Okay. We have that?
Yep.
That's why I come back. This is the one Van Halen song I like. I fucking think they're the most overrated band ever.
Van Halen?
Stinks.
Ah, come on.
They're terrible. Fucking terrible. I try to like them. Jamie's crying. Really?
Look, anything with Sammy, maybe you have a fucking point. But, dude, David Lee Roth.
Ugh, enough with him.
Another guy who comes down the cellar.
Yeah, he used to. I haven't seen him in a long time, though. I actually liked him.
His uncle owned it. Roth, Manny Roth, who owned it before Manny, who owned the cellar, but Manny Roth owned it, so that's why he comes down, because it's his family. And he actually was walking by one night in the crowd, and he walked through, and I went, David Lee Roth, everybody. And I go, real quick, most chicks you banged at one time? He went 5.
Wow.
And then he just walked out.
That's nice.
5
nice
chicks.
life.
Oh,
It's a nice number to throw out.
Yeah.
I just remember his abs, his hairy abs.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
The jump video.
Yeah.
If I could just, I've always wanted to be a bullfighter when I was growing up, but I knew I couldn't because my ass is just awful. Like just in the bullfighting uniform, I'd never fit in.
Also, your lack of masculinity would make it difficult for you to...
And the lack of bullfighting venues around Boston.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
going to move to Mexico or Spain.
Were you? Just go to Roxbury with a fucking picture of a white girl. That'd kind of be like bullfighting up in Boston. And so we were talking about John performing before, and it's funny. It was like I mentioned before that he dropped the N-bomb on stage, which I think he just did once, and it was talked about, not a big deal. But it's amazing how people get so upset about a guy who's obviously not a racist. Like he loves black music. He embraces black.
Absolutely.
It's like. It's like what's happening with Mel Gibson. It's like anything that you say that is politically incorrect, even for a moment and even in a certain context, people take and run with, and they make that who you are. And it's like, do you not see the body of the person's work? Like, this is not who the person... Like, every person that's ever worked with a guy has said, no, that's not who he is. Same with Mel Gibson. All the black actors, no, he's not a racist.
The thing-
he says something stupid, and all of a sudden, he's a fucking racist.
Well, John, John is the type of famous person, though. He's a regular guy. Like I know of famous people that really put on a front of cool, and it's like if I go into I did a red carpet for Louis, I'm just on there just saying just trying to be liked.
Yeah.
And you see other people who are like, yes, answering. They answer the same question over and over, and how to do it.
Yeah,
And
Donald Trump does that.
Yeah, when they're out in public, John is more of like, he's who he is all the time, and sometimes he fucks up. That's why he's kind of like a stand-up. We don't have a choice to kind of be who we are. We always say what we mean, even if it fucks us up.
Yeah, if you watch his concerts, like he has like a big breaks where he talk like more or less riffs, essentially. But that guy, him and both his brothers, they love stand up.
Yeah, Carl is a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
His brother Carl.
I used to play him on Xbox.
All right, the three of us should just shut up. We're just yapping about a fucking singer that we like. We really are. 3 queers. That should be the name of the show. 3 fucking Marys. Hey, I want to ask you about a gig, too. We and Bobby will ask about bad gigs sometimes.
Yeah.
And for you, it was the pub show, Brooklyn. What was that?
No, there's two different
It's two
shows.
different ones. One was in Brooklyn. One was a pub show in Australia.
Oh, okay.
And one was in Brooklyn in front of 12,000 people. We got a nice hot one.
Yeah.
All right, what was the pub show? Let's start with that one.
It was September 12th, 2001.
Aha.
So we all
Let's
remember.
see. Oh, I guess it was a plain joke that did it.
Well, you can remember what the climate was like. It was like that everywhere in the world.
September 12th, everything was okay again. It was really odd.
What?
September 11th, things were bad, but September 12th, things were fine. We're back to normal. This love's nice.
It's actually really quiet and nice around the city.
Yeah.
You get a cab.
I was in the western suburbs of Sydney, which is the real sort of burbs, and I was doing a pub gig, which is what we'd call a bar gig or a one-nighter, and 2 drunk dudes talking. You're already up against it in those environments because it's not a comedy venue. And 2 drunk dudes smashed, just talking the whole way through my set, and I'm just getting angrier and angrier, and my brain just goes to, okay, my mouth is my weapon. How do I fuck this guy up? And at the end of it, after telling him to shut up and a million times, I just said, "Hey, Osama, shut the fuck up," right? And at that time, if you said Osama,
Right.
that was you can't think of a bigger insult.
Right.
So the guy got up and came at me. I think he had a bottle too, and I had a wireless mic, so I just ran. And there's a huge pub, big, like a shopping complex. Sort of
Wait a minute,
thing.
stop one second. You kept the mic in your hand?
Well, yeah.
Were you
I just had to
commentating?
go. Well, what am I going to put? You guys have been great. I got to run. No, you just had to. It was like this guy was going to kill me. You know what I mean? So this guy was probably going to stab me with a
What if it
bottle.
was a wired mic? Would you have to get stuck to the stage?
I would have left it on there. I would have left it. I just remember that I had that with me, when the security was saving my life. And so I just ran and outran them.
He was chasing you?
Yeah. And security got them and threw them out of the pub, and then I went on and had to finish the gig. And the audience was far more upset about that than me, whereas all I was thinking was, this was every day of my high school. I don't know why you guys are so worried. This is what happened to me for 12 years.
How great is that, though? He's such a you're a comic when you go back and try to finish your set. Anybody else would just leave their job and go get the police.
Yeah. Everybody, the host, the guy, I remember him just thinking, dude, you're not going to really, you're going back, really? You know, and I just, no, fuck it, you know. So.
Were they outside waiting for you or no?
No, thank God. I got the security to walk me to my car, and I think they were so smashed, though. They were so drunk, you know.
They were just loaded.
It's always the most humiliating when you have to leave a club and, like, be escorted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I always want to go, like, you know, when I was in Dallas, I just wanted to go and just man up because I had a guy that was going to, you know, sending me emails like, I'm going to kill you, watch your back. And the club was like, we'll just come over and pick you up at the hotel, which was literally through the parking lot.
Right.
And I was, in my heart, I was like, good. But then I was like, I don't need that. Fuck that. And I'm walking to the club. I had a rock in my pocket and a vegetable skimmer to get the skin off the fucking cucumber. And I'm walking, just waiting for somebody to attack me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I actually left weapons on the stairs going up to the club at certain points. So if he got me at any point going back, I had little weapons planted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just fucking awful.
Jim's outraged.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I could have just had a fucking, like a big black guy come and get me. And
Vegetable skimmer is the thing that makes me the happiest. Because if he was after you right now, I was walking with an ice cream scooper. It's all I had. Sorry about that.
I was in a sweet.
What was the 12,000 people booing you?
Oh, that was in Brooklyn. I got booked to open for Donna Summer in an outdoor gig at a regular Brooklyn summer event. So they obviously do it every year in some park. And there was, like 10, 12,000 people. And when I arrived, it was just a check to me, you know. I just figured I'll do the gig, you know, whatever. And when I arrived, I could see that there was no, you know, as a comic, you sort of know what you can and can't do. You know your limitations. And I could see that there was no possible way that this really could work.
Right.
You know?
Comedy and music do not.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. It's afternoon shows outside after a band. Never works.
So I'm looking at the situation. The mayor of wherever the place was is up there reading, basically reading sponsors' names, and people are just everywhere. It was like watching, you know, just a bad event.
Could you curse or no?
Probably not. No, there was kids.
Yeah.
There was kids. So my stupid brain went to, I'm going to need everything that I can. At the time, my best joke was this joke about Sully, the aeroplane landing on the Hudson.
Yeah.
Right? And that was my best joke. And I thought, all right, I'll start with that because that's how I'm going to get him with my strongest weapon.
What was the joke?
Oh, I mean, it's a big
I know you
bit.
don't.
It's a long bit, but basically it just ridicules Sully and the whole experience, right?
The hero of New York City.
I guess. Yeah. And I didn't think about that. And so I go out there and I go, oh, everyone says he's a hero. I think he's a dick.
She just walked out and said, Superman's a faggot.
Yeah. And the minute I went with that, because you got to remember too, you got this big fat accent, which
You
just
should have went out
people
with a
going,
shirt that says "Disco's dead."
Fuck singers. But it was just like, you know, first of all, this guy's got this accent, and now he's going to shit on like a local hero of it, and it was like instantaneous booing. You know, like I don't even think I was. It's like the third sentence maybe. And they were like, boom, and it just got worse. And then, get off, dude. And I just went, I'm at that point, you know, in my career by this stage, I was like, Brooklyn, you have spoken. Good night. And I just walked.
How much time did you do?
Probably a minute.
That's it?
Maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It was bloody quick.
Did they pay you?
Yes. Yeah,
Did you meet her?
No, God, no. It was very embarrassing, though. Because prior, you'd been sitting with all the musicians and they were sort of looking at you, and yeah. I'm pretty quiet in those environments, but it was horrifying.
That's the worst.
It was horrifying.
Before the gig, you're accepted. I remember I got booed off at the Boston Garden. 14,000 people. It was a rock show. We were going on between the Spin Doctors, right at their peak, and Fish. We were doing improv comedy, which you need audience participation.
Yeah.
We thought we could pull this off somehow. But before, we're hanging out. We had our green room was actually the ladies' room. It was just rock and roll, hanging out with Jeffrey Gaines, and everybody's drinking. We're doing the radio live remote, and people are high. We're just friends, and then we just booed off stage. Sha-na-na-na. Hey.
Humiliating.
Throwing lighters and shoes. It was crazy. And after the gig, nobody looks at you.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
What's worse than the musicians? I did something in Atlanta. I didn't really bomb. It was a TV thing. I did okay. But standing next to me waiting for their turn was Inner Circle. so they could sing Bad Boys, that fucking cop song, which is all they ever sing. The nerve of them to not be friendly. You motherfuckers, you sang one song in 30 years. What you gonna do? We got it. We heard it. I got the tape. Fucking. Oh, man, they were not enjoying me at all. Oh, they were not enjoying me.
I just think it's such a fantastic thing that you thought to open with a joke about this guy is just a hero to New York.
Yeah.
And you're gonna trash him. How that far in front of families. It's not even like a bunch of rock and roll crowds. It's kids and families and probably some people, relatives of the people that actually lived on the plane.
Oh, it was great. I didn't realize it until I said it. I'm just thinking it's a strong joke. Then as I articulated the words and I'm saying he's a dick, they're like, boo! And I'm like, oh, God, this is the worst.
Because it's killing at the cellar in front of fucking 18 people. You're like, let me open with
Exactly.
So did you talk to the musicians after?
Barely. I mean, I just changed my shirt and got in the car and like, oh my God.
What they say to you? You know, it happened.
I don't think the musicians knew because they were still in their thing, but the people who knew were like the people around the, like, you know, there's always people with laminates running around and those people knew and it was like, oh God, this is just
humiliating, isn't it? It's like someone fucks you in the ass in front of everybody and now you hold your hand over your cheeks and you're walking back to the dressing room. It's just embarrassing.
It was horrific. And I think I probably went into that shuffle, you know, where just after your intended joke bombs, you go for 3 other jokes that you're not setting up properly.
You say them too fast.
Like you basically say, here, is there anything you will buy from me? You know what I mean?
You're frantically scrambling. You're showing no confidence. You're showing them why they're afraid to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got to do a quick break. Who should we play, Bobby? I'll let you pick a comic.
Oh, man, I would actually...
You got any Stephen Wright? I'm sorry to jump in. You got any Stephen Wright? I just thought of Stephen Wright. I was watching Reservoir Dogs recently, and he was the voice in the radio.
Yeah.
And I haven't fucking heard Stephen Wright in years.
Actually, that's what I was going to say.
Oh.
I was going to say Stephen Wright.
That's called being on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
All right, so we'll play a Stephen Wright bit, and we'll come back shortly. Welcome back to the Jim Norton Show, where we just start anywhere in a song. No beginning, no middle. Just, all right, go to 37 seconds and hit play.
That was pretty good.
Perfect.
Actually, Steve did cue that one up well. It's really embarrassing because I have to sit here next to the board, but I don't know how to operate it. So Steve lurks behind me.
Like you're doing hands improv.
Yeah. I'm going to tell a funny story, but I'm going to tell it my way. You ever see a comedian do that where they stand there and an audience member puts their hands between them? Like under their arms and it makes like their it's fucking abysmal. It might have been funny like 1908, you know. Okay, now I'm talking to a Negro. It's all wacky. 1908. All right. So we're back with James Smith, Bob Kelly here on the Jim Norton Show. I hate to keep saying that. I'll be in Tampa, by the way, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Tampa Improv if you want to go.
James is going to actually be at the Caroline's Comedy Club headlining August 8th. Will be his own show. That's New York City, Caroline's on Broadway. Make sure you get on check. He's hilarious. And I'm going to be at the Off the Hook Comedy Club in Marco Island the 19th through the 22nd.
Okay. So we have one more break to go. And talking to James, what kind of comics do you hate, man? What do you hate in comedians?
Well, hate is pretty strong, but I don't like the...
What comedians do you wish had AIDS?
Oh, right. I don't know about that. I just get underwhelmed when there's no residual. You know what I mean? Like, I was saying this to Bobby earlier, that I like watching comics who sort of have an opinion or something. There's some meat on the bone there. You know,
sure.
like there's something there to watch. And it's more than just jokes and just laughs. I think a lot of guys... just laughs is their stop. You know, that's their litmus. That's their sort of bottom line, just getting laughs. Just as long as they'll talk about whatever comes along, as long as it gets laughs. Whereas I prefer like a point of view. You know, so I hate just frivolous jokes. You know, or just really, just what are you saying? It frustrates me. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, why bother? You know.
Yeah, I prefer that too. Although I like silly sometimes too. It depends on the act. I like whatever if something's organic to a person.
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
Like Brian Regan doesn't do a lot of opinion stuff, quote unquote, but he's a great comic.
That's right,
it's like
yeah.
as long as it's organic to the person, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
There's a new thing though. I mean, a lot of people now are taking. There's joke writers who write great jokes, and then a lot now they're trying to add edge into it, like people who aren't edgy, who've never fucking thought about committing suicide or fucking killing themselves or fucking hookers or addictive or anything. There's nothing. They just had a perfect little life and they're being edgy, but it's like a joke, like a really good joke with this. Oh, he said this. I thought he was going here, but he said fucking AIDS.
And they love to tag things with whatever that means, or I don't know what that means. means. You know what I mean? Like they're just
these quirky geniuses who's just kind of allowing the randomness to flow through them, and it happens to be funny. Do I want to get a fucking vuvuzela horn and just blast it through the mic?
I fucking hate it. And I'd love to go back into the history. What have you done? Why are you so fucking miserable?
Oh, yeah, there's nothing there, I'll tell you right now. They just they want to please the audiences, They're just audience pleasers. And a lot of audiences, that's all they want. They just want a distraction, They don't want to be engaged.
And when the crowd hears us trash audience pleasers, they're like, well, that's what we like. We like, it's like, it's weird when people hear comedians bashing guys that get laughs.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't understand. It's not that I don't hate people that get laughs, but when you see them do, it's almost like if you're a painter and you see someone painting a bowl of fruit, you're like, all right, you cunt, it's a bowl of fruit.
Exactly.
Who fucking cares?
Exactly.
Anybody can paint a bowl of fruit, asshole. People who don't paint go, wow, that's a great bowl of fruit, but anybody who can paint is like, do you know how fucking easy that is?
What about a book and a bottle of wine?
I love that. It kind of it gives like a rustic feel. Like, I'm just going to have a quiet weekend alone. My family is murdered in a cabin. I'm just going to read.
What about a cat sleeping on a pillow in a window seat?
I've actually never seen that.
Oh, okay.
I like dogs playing cards. That's my favorite.
Yeah, Elvis playing pool with James Dean or something.
Do you know those dogs playing cards, the originals of those, are worth a lot of fucking money? Those original paintings? That's called an uninteresting point. Sometimes you throw one out.
Trivia.
You'd have a song play right
Useless
after that.
trivia.
Yeah, I really should. Cyanide should just start playing as I'm telling that fucking horrible story. But people who hear us bashing comics, that's why. It's not about we're jealous of people who get laughs. Your job is to make the audience laugh.
Absolutely.
But you want them to have people to have some kind of a point of view or some kind of a completely original angle. But it's like when you see the same shit working, it's like it really does sometimes make you hate the audience.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's like,
totally.
how are you enjoying this garbage?
Well, we're such connoisseurs, though. We're such purists, because we get taught by people in the business, like, what it should be. And so you gradually get this real... real taste for the better stuff, and so you realize what sucks and what doesn't.
I just hate when you see it coming, when a comic's on stage and it's the same tempo in the joke, every fucking joke. It's so anyways, I was sucking his cock, and it's like I saw that coming, and the next joke is the same thing. It's just the same thing over and over for a fucking hour. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's got to be some real anger in there. You got to see that. I love when Jim will talk about something that just like fuck. You can see really. Fucking want to kill people right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which works against you sometimes on stage. It's like you bomb a lot doing that because the audience isn't like, they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
But it eventually turns into material that works. You just got to be willing to bomb.
That's right. You really do. You really do have to be. If you're going to take a contrary view, you really got to be able to eat it.
That's hard to do too. I actually just learned that in the last maybe 5 years, how to take a bomb at the Cellar, because I was so paranoid I'd get kicked out or I wouldn't get spots when I first came to New York. I killed every night. I would sweat on stage every time. 10-minute set, I'd be sweat head to toe. And then like watching you and Colin, you guys would fucking bomb. I mean, fuck, and it didn't affect your progression of your career at all. You were actually getting better and better and better. I was like, wait a minute, it's reverse.
That's what that room's for, right?
Yeah, but a lot of guys don't do that. A lot of guys don't know that you taking a fucking hot one, maybe 20 people might never come see you again, but they'll see you a few days down. Oh, he sucked before, but now he's really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something about just up there eating your balls. It's kind of cathartic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, although once in a while you bomb. I bombed so bad back in September. I remember I was warming up for a Leno spot. I bombed so bad, not in the cellar, in another room. I didn't know how to get out of it. It was like one of those bombs where the crowd wasn't even being rude.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, look at the little man trying to be funny. It was everything you're afraid of as a comedian. Like, I'm like, this is what prevents people from doing this. Like, this is why they don't do it. Right. It's not the bombs that we control where it's like, look, I know I'm working on shit. I can fucking get out of this. Yeah. I was bombing so completely, and I felt like such a fucking little boy. And the other comics were in the back kind of ashamed for me. Like, oh, look at him. He can't get out of this one. It was a bad room.
It's like that segment from the documentary Comedian where Seinfeld's sitting
when he gets on the private plane.
Yeah.
Very moving.
Yeah. But that's it. He's sitting in a limousine and he's going, I fucking hate it. He actually says, I fucking hate it, meaning the business.
Right.
And he goes, no, I don't. I just didn't have a good set tonight. And it's just, that is it. There's a billionaire, probably the most, financially successful guy in our business, and he is struggling with it. You know,
and that was he had they show where he was getting these people were talking while he's on stage at Governors. It does make you feel better. Even a guy with Seinfeld's, he's got everything we want, and he's still in the car going, that fucking joke stunk.
Yeah.
God, sucking audience. It's like it's nice to see that somebody on his level is still eating their balls once in a while.
And he comes off the stage at Governors and he says, "How fucking big do you have to be before they'll shut up?" And this was '98. You know what I mean? The height of the fucking show.
And he'll come in and bomb at the cellar. And I mean, Jerry doesn't die deaths, but he'll come in. I've seen him do it. Robin Williams has done it. Chris comes in a lot.
It's easier for them to bomb, though. They get the famous.
Chris is the most courageous.
They get
of
the
all.
famous. Hey, we're going to give you credit,
Right.
For you know what I mean. We're going to. It's him. They're looking at you. They're just like, oh my god, it's them. So you get the first 5 minutes of a pass.
Still hurts though.
But
We
then the
don't get that.
letdown is worse. That's why it's almost like when you're getting the first 5 minutes and the crowd loves you.
Yeah.
It's hard to all of a sudden go, all right, here we go into the toilet.
I actually heard Rock one night. He bombed, and at the end of one of the jokes, he goes, "Don't worry about it. That's going to be funny. I'm just, as soon as I put Chris Rock to it, it'll be funny."
Yeah,
Because he was just meandering through his jokes.
Yeah.
And then you saw the special, and he's doing that thing back and forth, pacing and preaching it, and it was hilarious.
Steve is fucking having a stroke. We got to wrap up. So we've given out the plugs. James, what's your Twitter? I know you're on Twitter.
It's at James Smith Comic.
Okay, James Smith Yeah, I guess James Smith is common.
Yeah, and you can YouTube him. He did Live at Gotham, and he was on Flight of the Conchords, and a few other things. He's going to be at Caroline's on August 8th, headlining his own show, which you should definitely go check out.
This Sunday, yeah.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for coming. And,
Thank you, guys.
All right, well, I guess we'll wrap up with Bob's bit. What was the bit?
It was called Getting Engaged.
Okay, this is Bob Kelly's bit. This is another one in the books, folks. Another Jim Norton show. See you next week.